Hi, this is Katie from katiejams.jamberrynails.net, and today I am going to talk about the method that I use for doing my Jamberry nails, which is a little bit different from what you've seen on the original application video, but I think I get a better seal this way, especially for wraps that have metallic in them, which sometimes can lift a little bit. So we'll get going here. These are the tools that I use to do my wraps. I've already started to prep my nails. I cleaned them, pushed my cuticles back with my cuticle pusher. I actually swiped them with white vinegar to clean them, and then I buffed them with my nail buffer just to kind of give them a little bit of a tooth or something to grab onto. So that's done. I have my alcohol wipes. Let's see, my alcohol wipes, my nail file, nail scissors, my cuticle pusher, a pair of tweezers, and nail clippers. And then, of course, I have my Jamberries. So to start, I'm going to open up my, and I should have mentioned the two most important things, which are different from the original video. I have a plastic baggie and a rice bag, which in my case is a sack full of rice that I stuck in the microwave. I knotted and stuck in the microwave for a little over a minute. So I already warmed that up. So I'm going to pull out my alcohol swab, and I like to do this as I go so that I don't get any extra oils on my nails in between. So I just swiped my nail with that. I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I'm going to actually just buff it a little bit more. This nail isn't so bad, but for some reason this left index finger, I get some lifting on the tip, I think because I play with it. So I do like to buff those tips a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is open up my Jamberries. This is how they come. They come in a little resealable pouch. This is Wonderland. It's a winter themed wrap, and it's really cute, and it's a There's More wrap, which means everyone is a little bit different. So the first thing I'm going to do is size the wrap to my nail, and I happen to know that my thumbs are this second to the largest size, so I'm just going to pull that down a little bit. To get this off of the sheet, I like to use my tweezers. I know they say to use an orange stick. I think tweezers are just a little bit easier, and I'm going to cut my wrap where I think I need it, which is about there. And then carefully, without touching the adhesive side, I'm going to switch the tweezers over to the flat edge. So this rounded edge is where the cuticle goes, but like most people, my thumbs, let's see if I can show that. My thumb is in really bad shape, by the way, but my thumbs don't have as round of a cuticle as what this wrap is. So I actually take my nail scissors and I just trim it down a little bit so that it's flatter. That way I don't have any issues with it getting on the skin. I also don't get a gap in the corners of my thumbs like you sometimes see. So now that I have that trimmed and my nail has already been prepped with alcohol, I am going to take my rice bag. I'm going to heat my thumb just a little bit. Okay, we're getting some kind of weird effect here. Cool. Just heat my thumb a little bit. And then I take the side of the wrap, not the adhesive side, because we don't want to have that touch anything, but just the design side. And I just kind of warm it a tiny bit on that rice bag. And it's warm. It's not hot. It does come out. I think I put it in a little too long. I put it in like a minute and a half. It came out pretty hot, but it's not hot enough to burn. Okay, so I gently put the nail wrap on in the center. Didn't push it down. I just want to make sure it's positioned correctly, and it is. So I'm going to take my cuticle pusher, and I start in the center, and I'm pushing up, and I'm putting my finger up at the top of my cuticle, and I pull down. I do like a stretch of the wrap, and it seems to help it adhere a little bit better, and I'm doing that on the sides too. I know it's hard to see. And then I'm taking my cuticle pusher, and I'm just going around the edges, making sure that that wrap is not touching any of my skin. Do this side. And just really putting a lot of pressure on this wrap to make sure that it stays. Okay, so then I'm going to take my rice bag again, and I'm just going to set it on there for a minute. Boy, I don't know if you can see this on the video, but on my screen it has like a really weird look to it. Okay, so I've heated that a little bit, and I'm going to do this again. And one of the things that that stretch does is help to eliminate any bubbling. I know that some people get, I don't really have an issue with that, or haven't, but it does help. Okay, so I'm just putting more pressure on. So then the next thing I'm going to do, first I'm going to, once it cools a little bit, and normally I would actually go and do maybe a couple more nails before I do this, but to save some time, now I'm going to go ahead and, I have an old wrap on my scissors, take my scissors and just cut it down a little bit. Obviously I'm not going to cut the nail, I'm just cutting it a little bit closer to my nail so I don't have so much hanging off. So now comes the plastic baggie, and I'm going to stick that on my thumb, and I'm making a nice seal. It's almost like it's shrink wrapped on my thumb. And I take my rice bag again, and I'm putting it over there, letting it sit just for a minute, and pull this off, and go ahead and push down again. I actually do have a little bit of, I just extended this wrap maybe a little bit too far on this side, probably didn't get it quite close enough to the cuticle on the other side. I will pick at these if they just even lift a tiny bit, and I will pull them right off. So I have to be really careful to make sure that I get the edges really right. So I just take my cuticles or my nail scissors and trim that off. So now I'm going to stick that back in the bag again and heat it, and then take it off. And one more time, I'm just going to push it down really well all the way to the tip. Make sure that's on really, really nicely. And I now have a really good seal. I'm going to let that cool for a minute. And then just to clean it up a bit, for some reason I find that I have better luck with the clippers than filing at this point. So I'm just going to clip, not my nail, I'm just clipping right up to the edge where there's any overhang on the wrap. And one more clip. I think, yep, I've got that nice and smooth. And then I'm just going to do one more, wrap it around with the bag, put that rice bag on, and make sure we've got it nice and smooth. And there, oh, where is it? There we go. I've got a really, really nice seal right now with that wrap, and this should last me 2 weeks, except for the fact that I will get bored and take it off in probably a week. I'll want to change my design, but that is a way you can get a really nice seal. It won't fall off, it won't peel. I know a lot of people, like I do, pick at the tips of their nails. This really, it's hard to see, but it kind of comes down. It has like a nice seal over the edge of my nail here. So I won't have any issues like that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my nails, but that is the rice bag plastic baggie stretch method that I use to get the best application for my wraps. So hopefully that helped you. Have a good night.